Hey everyone, finished watching the next episode of Power Rangers Megaforce, The Human Factor. Funny thing with this episode's title, the official YouTube upload has the title The Human Factory. I'm assuming some poor guy at Hasbro got auto-corrected and didn't notice. It's been 2 years since it was uploaded and it hasn't been corrected. I'm sure someone would have told them by now, but all the official Power Rangers videos have the comments deactivated due to YouTube's child content safety rules. Anyway, on to the summary. Vrock has an underwater base now. What? He uses it to build a robot lady, Metal Alice. Metal Alice herself makes a robot that proceeds to break her foot. Luckily, she repairs herself. Okay. Vrock sends out her new robot, Rotox. The Rangers confront Rotox, and I can't help thinking Rotox sounds really similar. He has an effect over his voice, and it makes him sound like Octo Phantom, a monster from way back in Mighty Morphin.
An impressive strike, but you won't get so lucky a second time. I never really noticed what a handsome devil I am.
Was this intentional? Noah gets a silly line here.
That's not a monster. That's a robot.
Is that really a relevant distinction? Robo Knight joins the fight and is confused to see another robot. A fight scene goes on for a long time, and hearing the robot just makes me want to go watch the Mighty Morphin episode with Octo Phantom. The Rangers destroy Rotox, but Metal Alice repairs him and later joins on a city rampage. The Rangers are called away from Ernie's to burn through more Ghost Sager footage. Metal Alice tries to convince Robo Knight to join the bad guys by telling him it's humans that pollute the Earth. Robo Knight leaves to think about their offer. The Rangers fight the bad guys, and Robo Knight returns, still on the side of the Rangers. There's an original shot of the Rangers getting up to replace what I guess was an unmorphed shot of the Ghost Sagers standing and morphing. Once the scene cuts back to Ghost Sager footage, the Rangers suddenly flash and are surrounded with sparkles. Why didn't the scene for Power Rangers have the Rangers unmorphed? That would have matched the footage better. It's not like the Rangers actors were busy with much else. Did the crew maybe not have them available? Did they send off the cast really quick and that's why we barely get anything of them unmorphed? That would explain why nearly 90% of episodes are just voiceover. The Rangers and Robo Knight destroy Rotox again. Vrock shows up in his alternate armor and summons his Zombats, but they're Zombolts now.
Zombolts!
Why? Why change their name? Would it not make sense for a robot to be revived by organic life forms? Did the writers forget that the Zombats are already robots? Vrock went out of his way to mention that. Maybe this is all just too complex for me to understand. Rotox grows and immediately gets destroyed by the Megazord. This episode isn't a whole lot better than the last couple, but it's got some new interesting characters and visuals. Vrock's underwater base looks similar to the Lightspeed Aqua base. Too bad Megaforce is in its own continuity, separate from everything else, or maybe it could have tied in with Lightspeed Rescue. Metal Alice I could see growing into a more developed character. Right now, she's just a generic minion. Where's Admiral Malcor during all this? Is he just sitting around waiting for the writers to shove in some more stock footage of him? Since Malcor is an insect-themed monster, why not have him go into a cocoon and hatch out when he'll be relevant again? That way his absence would make more sense. The Rangers are hanging out at a beach at the beginning. We get bits of them fooling around, and it's all nice, but we need more than seeing them occasionally hanging out. Something I noticed with Megaforce is that the Rangers rarely have plots about them as people. The plots are almost always centered around the monster of the day with very little else. Mighty Morphin, the series Megaforce appears to be trying to emulate, almost always had plots for the Rangers separate from the monster plot. Sometimes connected, but still separate. Bulk and Skull also had their own subplots a lot of the time. Megaforce, unfortunately, has none of that. Some of the individual Rangers have had their own ongoing subplots, like Troy's visions and Jake's crush on Gia, but there haven't been plots focusing on them for a whole episode. Usually I try to give my take and try to figure out a way the episode could have worked for me, but with Megaforce, I don't like much of anything. I'd want to change it from its very premise. I'll just say that here, I would have preferred an approach more like Samurai and have Megaforce stick very close to Ghost Sager. The other direction I'd have liked would require them to do far more original stuff, which they clearly weren't interested in. Rotox was voiced by good old reliable Mark Wright. He was in nearly every season of Power Rangers shot in New Zealand, from Ninja Storm right up to the end in Cosmic Fury. Most of his voices weren't particularly standout, but the effect over Rotox is reminiscent of Octo Phantom. I have no idea if that was intentional or why it would be, but it's kinda neat. Megaforce is full of problems, but they're fascinating to speculate on. Upon this rewatch, I've noticed more oddities than I have in the past. Megaforce is one of those shows you watch, and every time you notice something new. It's just that everything new is wrong or weird. So that's it for this one. Hope you enjoyed it. See ya.
That's not a robot. That's a monster.